Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, Podcast Pete and lifestyle coach. And boy, you have better sit down, put your pens down, put your tabs down, listen to this podcast that we have for you today. It's kind of like an extension, we've talked before, of creativity. When you're creative, the whole world opens up to you. And our guest is in that environment. And she's going to share as we talk on this podcast about her creative journey. So, Cristie, tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and then we'll get on with the podcast.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much for having me, Pete. Thank you so much. My name is Cristie Whittier. I serve Jesus Christ, first of all, my Lord and Savior. I also serve my family. I'm an artist and a teacher.
Awesome. Man, that's so good. Two of the most important things you can have. You know, when I say the word artist, what does that mean to you?
To me, honestly, like it's such a subjective position to be in. So artist is just a creator, a person who likes to create and express.
How can you, like, for our community, because this is my language, creativity, and I know what it was like to be kind of suppressed or, you know, in an environment that didn't allow me to be that creative person that I've discovered in the last few years. When you're like, when in your life did you discover that you had that creative kind of gene?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I owe it to my older sister, Casey. She's 4 years older than me, and she's always so cool, and she's an artist. And so I just copied her.
Dang, that's good. Hey, you want to model people that fill your heart.
Yeah, she does. Yes.
Awesome. So I know we've talked before about the classes and the art and teaching. And I'm especially want to talk about seniors because I've lived in a senior community and our whole life is built around being creative, keep growing. So when you get in front of your seniors and you're teaching and creating and putting an art class together, kind of describe what to our viewers, like, what are they feeling? What are you seeing from your eyes?
So the seniors are a special community, and definitely one of my favorites. Teaching the seniors art is such a special, just a special time because I see a lot of growth. There's a lot of to paint. Okay, so mostly we paint. That's been my biggest class. My top selling class is painting classes. And I go in and I set up everything, and they come in and I bring the art to them to paint. So I see a lot of focus, meditation. It's like calm. It's a very calm atmosphere. And then the focus and the hand-eye coordination, the problem solving, just the learning new techniques on how to use the materials. And so I've been doing this since 2017, working with the seniors and the community. And I see a lot of growth mentally. I see a lot of uprise in mental health. Some of these classes, I have mostly women. I do have some men. I would love to have more male students, but a lot of the women, I mean, they'll schedule their whole month around these classes because there's a community. I get the same students over and over and just word of mouth to get even more students. And they just, I don't know, it's just like an uplifting thing. To me, when I do art, it's a very meditative state. And just very, very peaceful. I just put all my energy into it, forget about everything, self-growth. So yeah.
I've studied, I love human nature and I love human behavior. And I've done, I don't know, 400 or 500 podcasts, a lot. So I get a chance to learn as I'm doing it. And when I had a stroke 4 years ago, I used to love playing golf and I loved to run, but I couldn't do it. And I found I had to find something else creative to fill those voids. And podcasting and journaling were the two things that I do now that just lift my heart. Tell our viewers, like, I've often said this to people everywhere, that I want to get a tattoo with PT on it. But here's where I'm like wondering, because it's a creative expression.
You want me to draw you a tattoo?
Yes, I want to do that because I want you to share, because I see the people that have a tattoo, it's a creative expression of who they are. What was your first tattoo expression like?
My first tattoo is oh man, does that have a story? It's actually Steven, my husband,
Uh-huh.
was my first real relationship. I was pretty young. He was young
Yep.
too, but anyway. And I got a tattoo. It's the Misfits Walk Among Us
Uh-huh.
tattoo because like I was just kind of obsessed with him, Steven.
Uh-huh.
And that was like his favorite album. And I thought he was seriously the coolest. I'm kind of a copycat
Uh-huh.
person. I'm okay with it. I'm 46 now. I know I just copy people. But
Yeah.
anyway, I got that tattoo first. He ended up getting it later. But so anyway, Misfits Walk Among Us. I love music. He was such a huge inspiration in my life. We weren't even dating at the time when I got that. But so that's my
Mhm.
first tattoo. But anyway, back to what you were saying about the stroke is like you'd be actually a perfect candidate for one of my classes. And I'd
Yes.
love to give you a class sometime so you could see how great it'll just bring your mind and your hands
Yes.
together in one. And it's so comforting. So you would be a perfect person to take one of these classes. And I do a
Oh,
step
I
by
loved
step.
it.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
going to give you
I
one. We'll schedule that.
totally,
Yeah.
I love color. I love creating. I've done 17 journals in my 3 year, when I started it after my stroke, because I was like, I heard about journaling, but I never did it consistently. But it's been able to express who I am. I just and this is what somebody told me: the average person watches 4 hours of TV and scrolls over 2 hours and 30 minutes of social media.
Yeah.
So what it's meaning is consuming media versus creating. So I don't do any social media. I don't do TV. I probably don't do hardly any. And I got away from that after my stroke, and I substituted that drawing, that writing. If you saw my journals, I'm always like doing things like that because somebody told me the brain gets rewired when we
Yeah.
do those creative things. So I was kind of
Yes.
thinking, okay, I got to rewire my brain. So if
Yes,
that's
you
the
did.
case, I'm
Mhm.
going to do more of it. And it absolutely has opened up my whole life of expression.
That's great.
So, so tell I want to get back to, because I when I was at Overture, there was a lady. She was a former teacher, and she did art classes, paintings. It was the most popular thing that they did over there.
Yeah,
Everybody, it always maxed
I
out.
believe it,
And she
yes.
usually have, I think, 8 or
Mhm.
10, but it always maxed out because the ladies loved it. They
That's
couldn't
how
get the
it is.
guys to
Yeah.
it, but they could get the ladies.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I almost signed up for one because I saw the end result that was like all kinds of different creative things that she would do with them, whether it was a statue, whether it was a painting, whether it was just it was all creative, and they loved it.
Yeah.
So tell our viewers, like, I want to go back a little bit. Tell us the difference between a creative journey and one that you felt like wasn't expressing your creativity?
Oh, well, okay. So, I most always have taken the creative path.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point in my life, I was a textile designer. So I was a big corporate textile designer. I also did some planning and estimating with AutoCAD. So I mean, I can tap that part of my brain. But yeah, just being in the office and having to do, I really wasn't able to be creative. I had a mission, I had a job that was assigned to me, and I would do it. Assign, do it, assign, do it. And it was in an office. I had to sit down. I'm super, I'm like very active. I'm kind of like hyper, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love talking. I love just doing and making. And so, yeah, being in the corporate, I'm thankful that I was able to try the corporate industry, because I always looked up to people like, wow, you have an office job. Like that's so fascinating. You really made it in life. You're so like up there. But I did, and I had that position, and it wasn't for me. No.
Mm-hmm.
So I that was 2014, and
Mm-hmm.
then in 2017, I was praying to God. I also wanted more time with my daughter. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just prayed and prayed, and the Lord just put me into teaching. And so I went back to college, and I guess I was 39. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got another degree, a Bachelor of Education, so I could also be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Also, at that time, when I gave up my job or my career, that career at the time, that's when I got into teaching classes at art centers, museums, the college, libraries, senior
Mm-hmm.
homes. Yeah. And so it all worked out really.
Yeah. So tell her that is so. I love that because we were talking before we got on the podcast, and I have a lot of conversations. I wear two color shoes just so I can talk to
I
people.
love that
So
about
that,
you.
yeah. So they'll just say, something and it'll lead to a conversation. But here's what I've kind of discovered: the people that are in corporate, let's just say general corporate, they're told what to do. They've had to fall into a certain path, and it limits their creativity. And I saw it, but didn't know about it until I got on the other side of,
Yeah. Yeah. It
like,
was
I decide
nothing.
if I want to write and I go out on the porch, I just start writing because I'm writing a book, another book, and I just start writing and I just start creating. And what it does is just brings so much joy and fulfillment. So
Yeah.
what would you say when you're doing your art classes? Like what what are you seeing from the standpoint of, can you tell if this has been like a first class for somebody versus somebody that's been involved in several times
I
of that
love that you
creative
say that.
environment?
I love that you say that, because no, that is okay. These classes are so cool.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll have 20, 30 people show up, and sometimes I'll just have like a class of 10, but I always am getting newcomers. And since I do everything step by step, and walk everybody through the process of each painting, um, I can't tell who's new and who's not, unless I know their face.
Yeah.
And so that's the best part of it, when we're all done or towards the end, just looking and seeing how different everybody's artwork is.
Mhm.
And you have to be okay with that. You have to know, like, art is art. It's subjective. There is no good and there is no bad. It's
Mhm.
just do it, and have a good time doing it. Um, and there's oftentimes I'll just be so fascinated by somebody's finished product, and they'll say, "This is the first I've ever done it." And I'm talking like 78 years old, or,
Mhm.
and this is the first time I've ever picked up a paintbrush. I always hear that. I always wanted to. I always wanted to paint something, but I
Mhm.
just never have. And it's incredible to see. And I don't want anyone to be intimidated by the
Mhm.
class. That's the thing. Like, I have art from every side of the spectrum that I do. I'm just a maker of things. And some things I will think come out brilliant and others don't like. Or things that I think, well, that's whatever, it's kind of trash. And everyone loves it. So
Hmm.
you just have to know that when you're making something. You can't go in thinking this has to look perfect. Because if you go into an art museum, you go into the High Museum of Art, which I was there yesterday, it's so amazing.
Mm.
There'll be just like a rectangle, 15-foot rectangle. And it's like $2 million or something. Or if we look at the artist Jackson Pollock, who just splashed paint on canvas, his
Hmm.
art, you can't buy a piece of his art. It's so, sought after. He's in the history books. So that's why I tell people, and yeah, so a beginner is no better or less great than a professional artist who's done it their whole lives. But the one thing that, I have been a painter. I began painting, I think, in about 2000. I don't know, honestly. I can't say when I started painting. Uh,
Hmm.
but I did go to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh in 1999. And so it's 2026 now. And so that's when I began studying art.
Hmm.
And so I do know techniques and I do know tips and tricks that I can teach beginners and
Hmm.
professionals. And sometimes even a beginner can teach me a new thing. So
That's so good. So you mentioned like you have a system of taking people through the
yes.
class.
Mhm.
So could you kind of share with our community, like, because I believe in systems, even though I am very creative and I love to create and I love to do things, I have certain systems that I do to create that. What's the class look like, and how do you take a person that the beginning of the class through to the end of the class with your system? Because I think it's understanding there's a flow to everything.
There is, and I wish I guess I have visuals, but it probably looked pretty crazy for me to just go pull things out. But
Yeah.
when I start a class, they come in, everything's set up. I have easels, the canvas. Most of the time, I don't pre-draw the canvas. Now,
Hmm.
I can do that, and I've done that. But a lot of people like to to take their own chance and just go step by step. Okay, so they have everything set out. They pick a seat, and I print out a picture of what we're going to draw. So everyone has that picture, and then
Hmm.
I'm in front of the class. And first, when you're looking at art, you'll break things down into shapes. So
Hmm.
everything is a shape. Like I'm looking at you right now, and like it looks crazy sometimes, but I'll squint my eyes and I see like, okay, your head is like the oval or the egg shape. I forgot what that's called. And then I
Hmm.
see that your shoulders are like a rectangle. And then I'm looking at the negative space behind you, and I see that like you're actually on my screen, you're centered. And so I see like there's about the size of the width of your head is on both sides. And so I could see if you were a canvas right now, I could see like there's equal here and about the same here. And
Hmm.
then I could see there's like half of your face here. So if we take that, then you just and then the students can just draw it out by shapes and seeing like where the shapes are. So we do that first, and then I go around with usually one or two colors at first, and then we just start laying it down. And I'll lay it down, show them how to do it, and then they'll do it. And then I'll lay down another. And so we start from the base and go and work our way up.
Okay.
And by
Man, that's
that, everyone can do it. You don't
yeah.
have to even know how to draw. Just make a shape. And they're so simplified. Like I said, like your head is like an oval or whatever that egg shape is called. I forgot what that's called. There's a name for
Hmm.
it. Your shoulders, that's a rectangle. And
Uh-huh. That is so cool. I have my 9-year-old granddaughter. She's on the creative side, and my daughter homeschools. So when she's learning, she's walking around. She's like, she can't sit in a chair. She has to be walking around doing
good.
things. Well, I gave her for Christmas. a journaling art like
Yes.
package, and
Yes.
she is taken to it. Like my daughter sent me a picture. She
Wonderful.
was like on her bed, just creating and drawing and putting those things together. And I think I would say I always, because I'm ADD and dyslexic, I call it the active
I'm
brain.
both too.
Are you really? Dang.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and you can tell she's active brain too. But yeah, there's different styles. But she's now. I gave her also a cooking class over
Oh.
in Dallas, so she could create because she loves to get in the kitchen and just make
Mhm.
things and things like that. Do you feel like with kids, like what would you like if I had you in front of 9-year-old kids and we wanted to really express their creativity? How would you how would you handle that class with younger artists?
So I am certified in elementary education.
Hmm.
So I am used to, I do work in the Cobb County public school system. So
Okay.
yeah, so the 9-year olds, that's I mean, depending on class size. So I've also homeschooled my daughter for a while.
Hmm.
And boy, do I love working with the homeschool groups. And everyone has their different, I don't know, it's pretty cool. But there's just a lot of classroom management going on with that.
Yeah.
Depending on like the size of the class. There's a lot of classroom management, organization. If I have everything set up ahead of time and I'm able to give clear expectations with visuals, that, a nine-year olds are any elementary, any even honestly, any age.
Yeah.
Visuals and structure. So
Yeah.
yeah, and kids, and that's the thing with me is okay, so like there's a lot of art teachers around who really want the finished product to look spectacular.
Hmm.
I mean, I could do that. We could do that. Okay. But also, I truly believe in the process and not putting too much pressure on the student. And
Hmm.
so, with kids, especially, I let them go. Like, you have to, honestly, me personally, I can't do the whole, um, it has to look a certain way, it has to be socially acceptable. I think that
Hmm.
just puts, like you were saying, when you feel like you're not able to be creative, there
Hmm.
are art classes where you can't be creative, believe it or not, because um, some parents want their children to be perfect and
Yeah.
not to be children.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, when I was a kid, I would draw all over my jeans. I would design my own jeans, my own shirts. I would like staple things together, make
Hmm.
clothes out of paper, the craziest things. Not everything looked good. And that's okay. Like with a sketchbook, I love that you got your granddaughter that journaling book. I always, when I have like my nieces and nephews, I'll give them a sketchbook and say, this is your sketchbook. This doesn't,
Hmm.
it's a sketch. A sketch can look sloppy. Just throw it all out there. Because if you're not doing those things, you'll never be able to grow. Like if you're not just letting yourself not be perfect.
Hmm.
So I teach all different types of classes. So the classes I teach mostly with the seniors, the big, large painting classes, where we do the step by step. I
Hmm.
also teach life drawing, and so there's life drawing skills where you're working on your hand-eye coordination, and the pages will look sloppy. But if
Hmm.
you go and look at Michelangelo's sketches,
Yeah.
his sketches are crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah. What do you think? Because I've always kind of, we went, I'm trying to think, did you go to the Rotary Christmas party?
yes.
Okay. I
Mhm.
won two paintings from Cindy.
Yeah, they were
And
so beautiful.
yeah, and I hang them, they're hung in my office downstairs, and I just look at them. So actually the first thing I look at in the morning, and it's just, you look at
Beautiful.
color, you look at abstract picture of creation, and it's like, dang, each time you look at it, it kind of like you see something different
Mhm.
because it is kind of that abstract. And I've never really looked at art that way. because I went to the Smithsonian Institute of History, and they had all kinds of art up there in Washington, and it was
Heart. Did you
amazing.
say, oh, art? But you know what? It is heart. Also, I thought you said they had all sorts of heart.
Oh
It's
yeah, art.
heart. What you're
Yeah,
talking. Yeah,
yes.
it's heart.
And you see all this different types of stuff, and you're going, "Wow, that is cool." In that a person like we have each a fingerprint, and everybody has an individual fingerprint. Every painting, every artwork is an individual thing. And
It
I
is.
think that's what I saw with the seniors when I would watch them proudly display what their finished artwork was. And it was like they beamed, like their
Yes.
whole everything
Yeah.
just kind of it's like their whole personality started to shine in what they created.
If you could see them creating it, it's really beautiful. And I always tell them, like, that's something, give that to your grandkids. Give that to your kids. They'll have that. They'll have that forever.
Yes.
And that's
Ooh.
you. That's a part of you. That's a whole moment in time of you.
What are you most excited about if you could be in front of seniors? What excites you the most when you're in front of that group of people?
Honestly, just having everybody create. It sounds
Hmm.
so, like, I don't know. It just really doesn't sound that deep, but to be in a room full of people creating, um, it's an energy. It's
Yeah.
a vibe, as the kids would say. It's a vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
think
it's
it.
really nice to see, it's just to see all this, like, everyone's spirit
Hmm.
kind of meditating and happy and talking with each other. And so there's a class that I teach at a senior home near us that I'm going on 4 years. Every month I teach a class for 4 years. I just keep coming back. Actually, today I have a class.
Really?
Mhm.
Would
And
you mind sharing that with us?
sure.
Like
Well, I mean, you have to be
a
a member
member
of
of
the
the, oh,
community
you have to
there.
be in that
So,
community. Okay.
but the some of the members invite their family members, and
Hmm.
I say more the merrier. I am used to dealing in public school, so I can handle 40 students.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm good. But what I love is, like, also, so 4 years of this, I've had students that's come to almost every single class for 4 years.
Wow.
And what's great is I can hear them teaching the newer students the things that I taught them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so good.
Yes. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I'm hearing is that you get to experience people just start to beam, start to, when our creative, the people that we are, it comes out, it's amazing what happens. And I would see over and over to the ones that I could tell were not in that mindset. They watched too much TV. They didn't keep growing. They didn't keep doing things to exercise their creativity that they have in them. Do you ever run into people that let's go back to the awkward stage? I think, and my granddaughter, we gave one of them a camera. And so I said, all right. And they're always creating movies around the house, taking the
Yes.
iPhone and doing all that. And I know they have fun doing it. And so I said, would you come and take pictures at our next live event? And it was like,
That's great.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And it's that I always say, if you can't go through the awkward stage of learning, you can't get on the other side of the enjoyment. Do you
Yes,
do
that's
you
true.
find that you can see that, like, people start out a little hesitant, like you said, the
Yes.
perfectionist who has to
Yeah.
have everything in the lines and all that? How do you take them from that
Yes.
mindset of perfection to creativity?
So, okay, so the class that I teach, I can teach I can teach a class catered to any group almost. But the most popular classes are the 2-hour classes. And we do one and done. It's one canvas and within 2 hours. So we are fast painting. Like we got to move on. And it's not stressful. It may sound stressful, but it's not. And so to go from that, that is the hardest type of student to work with, the perfectionist. And I love getting the perfectionist to open up their mind and just not care. And I say, you know what? When you're done with this, you could throw it away. It doesn't matter. Let it go. Or you can give it to me because I'm probably going to love it. And the funny thing is, the people who, I always find this, the people who say, I can't do it, theirs ends up being the best. And it's so like not fair because I know it from the beginning. I've just seen it too many times where they're like, I can't paint. I can't do this, blah, blah. I'm going to slop it on. And it's brilliant. I'm like, this is actually fine art, what you've just done. But, but a lot of people don't see it. And they'll say, well, I'm just going to throw it in my closet. And I say, please, can I keep it? No, I'm going to throw it in my closet. And I don't know. That's just how it goes. But I think I'm a pretty laid back person. And so with art, especially, I personally don't like the tension and perfection with art.
Yeah.
Because I also have a lot of ADHD. And so I like to just do it and go. And there's sometimes I'm hyper focused.
Yeah.
But I'm just hyper focused to be hyper focused, not to make anything perfect. I don't really know. But yeah, I think just giving any student, whatever age, the space to just be themselves.
Yeah.
And to let it flow out, however they have it flow out. And I really push that. I always say, I have one rule. You cannot put down your artwork or anybody else's. Don't do it.
Good. Yes. Yeah. It's so important to have encouragement, because we all, especially I think from what I've seen, we get a little older and we're more sensitive to what people think as opposed to when we were younger. So we get plenty of negative stuff out there. And so to have encouragement, like get in there and just, paint outside the lines. You don't need to keep it. You don't have to be perfect. You have to be wanting to express who you are.
Yeah. So, and I love art history. And and even in art history, there are things like the mandala. These groups of people would draw this really time-consuming art in the sand and then blow it away. That's genius. Like they would spend days on this intricate piece and then blow it away. There's freedom in that.
Yes.
So when you're doing your art, just do it. And if you don't want it, don't keep it. It doesn't even have to exist anymore. You can be right over it.
No, one more thing, because I want to be respectful of your time. The Marietta Square, they do the chalk art once a year. And it is a perfect example of watching people create. And then I would go there like on Monday, Tuesday, after maybe it rained and it all washes away. But it's so beautiful to see the expression of that artwork on the street. I mean, it's kind of my favorite thing just to watch people create the most amazing artwork. So I want you to tell people how can they get access to Cristie, and we maybe because I kind of told you about it, but I didn't tell people. Oops, hold on here, it went off. I'll tell them, and then I want you to think about one more question. So if you go to pkane.me/Cristie, now it's CRISTIE.
Don't put that H in there.
Yeah, I did it in this because I speak things. I speak, I don't really write. And so, let me take, this thing keeps popping off here. Okay. But anyway, go to there and you can book a creative call with Cristie to discuss your situation, your class you're interested in, finding out where she is, what might be open, what might be closed, where you can bring Cristie in to bring her creative art classes to your community. So we want you to share this with people. You know, people out there in the senior community, any community, getting people together in community matters. And I'm going to put one more little thing up. Hold on here. I just did this. Okay, here. So we have, if you scan a QR code, you can join our freedom community. And part of one of our freedoms is the creative freedom. We talk about 6 of them. But if they go to, hold on here. This is all, and then I'll ask you one more question. Hold on here. I think I got it here. I just put it together. Hold on.
Great. I
No,
love it. Yeah,
it.
call me. I can talk to you about the different art classes. I teach private art classes, group classes, painting. I have these little flyers where I do the painting classes. I do ceramics, sculpting, life drawing. And this is even more at soap making.
Ooh, really?
Yes.
Dang, that's so good. So what would you say, Cristie, what would be the one thing that you would want our viewers to take home from our podcast today?
I would just be well, the one thing that's be creative. Just try. Maybe just see what it's like. I know it's uncomfortable for some people to go out, and maybe they don't even want to. But creativity is in all sorts of different ways. Like my husband's a mathematician, and he has his creativity through music and coding. I mean, there's all different ways to be creative. There's no box. And come join my classes because it's a lot.
Oh gosh, yes. Share this with people in your community. Anybody's listening to this that wants to exercise their creative mindset muscle, get a hold of Cristie and bring her in to your community so she can help your residents exercise their creativity that we all have in us. And so thank you so much, Cristie. We appreciate you spending time with us today to share that creative journey that we all love to be on. So thank you, Cristie. We appreciate
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
It was my pleasure, as my people from Chick-fil-A would say.